You stared at the flashing text message on your screen for the fifth time. Found something strange in Doc 14's surveillance footage. Might be nothing, we'll check again later. Your thumb hovered over the send button. You didn't send it because you knew it wasn't nothing, not after what you saw. A few hours ago, you were in Jungkook's second base office helping your best friend with a delivery list. That's when curiosity got the better of you. You weren't supposed to look through the encrypted files, but something about one unreadable drive caught your eye. Inside it were logs, names, times, footage. At first, it didn't make sense until it did, until you saw the timestamp, until you recognized a familiar face, a man Jungkook trusted, one of his inner circle handing over shipment details to someone from a rival gang. You didn't even wait to think. You printed what you could, backed it up, and left everything else behind. There was no time for meetings or scheduling or calls. You had to tell Jungkook. The wind slapped your face the moment you stepped out of the cab. It was already late evening, the sky was darkening fast, and a heavy chill sat in the air like a threat. Two of his guards moved forward immediately. Stop. I need to see him, you said, breathless. It's urgent. One of the men, Minho, you remembered, shook his head slowly. No visitors tonight. I'm not a visitor. You snapped while your heart was hammering. He knows me. Just tell him I'm here. Miss, the other one said more gently, we have direct orders. No one is allowed inside without prior clearance. You can come back tomorrow. Tomorrow? You nearly laughed. Do you understand what's at stake? Minho laughed a little at the seriousness of your voice. You fumbled with the papers in your hand, trying to show them the proof. This is about Doc 14. One of his men, someone close is leaking shipments. I have evidence. Their faces didn't change, as if you are not making any sense. Still, Minho said firmly, he's not to be disturbed tonight. You blinked. Why? What's so important tonight? The two men glanced at each other. He's in private meeting. With who? They didn't answer, but something about the way they looked at each other made your stomach twist. You weren't stupid. You knew. You knew exactly who was inside Hana, his ex-girlfriend. You had heard the whispers. She was married now, married to a man Jungkook once called his brother. Then her husband betrayed Jungkook. Bad move, bad blood, and bad history. And now she was here. The thought of her standing inside his house, speaking to him, being close to him again, it dug into you like a thorn you never realized was there. But still, that wasn't the reason you stayed. You stayed because this was bigger, and no matter who was in that house, you weren't leaving without warning him. I'll wait, you said quietly. Miss, I'm not asking anymore. You backed away from the gate and sat down on the stone bench near the gate post. Your hands trembled partially from cold, partially from nerves. But you kept the folder pressed against your chest like a shield. Minutes passed, then an hour. The sky turned charcoal grey and then the heavens opened. Rain poured suddenly, violently. Within seconds your clothes were drenched, your hair sticking to your skin, but you didn't move. You pressed the folder tighter to your body, hoping the plastic covering would protect it. The guards shifted uncomfortably under the small awning by the gate but didn't offer you shelter. You didn't ask for any either. You just sat there, shivering, silent, soaked but determined. Your thoughts started to spiral. Would he be angry if he found you here like this? Would he even care? No, of course he would. This was Jungkook, your best friend's brother, the man who once fixed your necklace without a word during a family dinner, the man who gave you his jacket that night you fell asleep in the car, the man whose eyes always found yours, even in a crowded room, but right now he was inside with her. You knew there was nothing between them. and you were out here feeling like the world was crumbling around you. A sharp cough escaped your lips, chest beginning to burn from the cold. You hunched forward, teeth chattering. You weren't okay, but you weren't leaving either. Because no matter what, Jungkook needed to know what was happening behind his back. Inside the mansion, the room was dimly lit. Hana sat on the edge of the leather couch, tears lining her lashes as she looked at the man she once loved. Did you come here just to cry in my house? Jungkook asked coldly, pouring himself a glass of whiskey as she sniffled. His jaw clenched as he watched her. His ex, the woman who tore his trust to shreds, had reappeared in his office after years, uninvited, unwelcomed, and unimportant to his heart now. I didn't come for you, Hana murmured, wiping her eyes. I came for him, for my husband. Jungkook leaned back on the leather couch, his expression unreadable. And what exactly does the traitor deserve from me? A second chance? Forgiveness? Mercy? He didn't know it was your shipment. He just took the money. Please, Jungkook, we have built a life. He has no idea you still hold grudges this way. Hold grudges? Jungkook laughed dryly, standing up and walking toward the rain speckled window. His eyes were sharp. Your husband sold me out to a rival syndicate. Man I trusted died because of that leak. You think it's a grudge? She looked away, guilt dragging her shoulders down. I begged him not to, Hana whispered, but he did, and I get it. You don't owe me anything, Jungkook, but you are not the monster people paint you to be. He turned, glaring at her. You came here thinking your tears could sway me. But let me make something clear, Hana. His voice dropped to a deadly calm. The only reason you are still breathing is because you once meant something to me. She flinched. And your husband? Jungkook's tone turned lethal. He's already on borrowed time. He moved to leave the room, his heart already far from her. That's when he noticed something. A flicker on the security screen by the door. His eyes narrowed. Why the hell is she outside? He spun to the intercom. Why is she sitting in the rain? He barked into the speaker. A guard's voice stammered. Sir, you said no visitors tonight, and you thought that applied to her? His voice turned icy. Open the gates now. And then he was gone, storming through the hallways like a bullet, heart pounding, guilt already beginning to roar in his chest. The heavy metal doors groaned open the moment Jungkook stepped into the storm. The rain slammed into him, but he didn't flinch. His eyes locked on your figure instantly. There you were, sitting like a ghost in the storm, drenched from head to toe, hugging a folder to your chest like it was your last breath of safety. You looked small, cold, fragile, and he couldn't breathe. What the F? He whispered to himself, then ran. You didn't notice him at first. You were too dizzy from the cold, too tired, too heartbroken. Your eyes fluttered shut for just a second, and then you felt arms around you. Strong, warm, and familiar. Hey, hey, look at me. Jungkook's voice was breathless, shaking as he crouched in front of you and cupped your face. His thumb brushed your freezing cheek. What are you doing out here? Why the hell didn't anyone tell me? Your lips trembled. I tried. They said you were busy. They should have called me. His voice cracked with rage. He turned sharply to the guards standing under the awning, eyes blazing. You too, he growled. Get the F out of my sight. But, sir, now, before I lose every ounce of mercy I have left. The guards disappeared in seconds. Jungkook turned back to you, his rage evaporating into panic. He peeled off his jacket and draped it over your shoulders. It was soaked in seconds, but he didn't care. You are freezing. He pulled you into his chest. Jesus, you're shivering. You pressed your forehead into his shoulder. I had to tell you. I didn't want to wait. He held you tighter. I would have come out. I swear I didn't know. I didn't freaking know you were out here. His voice was breaking now, too. You could have gotten hypothermia. You are burning up. He stood up, lifting you into his arms like you weighed nothing. The folder almost fell, but he caught it and tugged it against your chest. I've got you now. I've got you. Inside, the warmth of the mansion was almost overwhelming. The moment Jungkook kicked open the front doors, servants rushed forward, startled by the sight of you in his arms. Get warm towels, blankets, hot water now, he barked. He took you straight to his private suite upstairs, the master bedroom, dimly lit, polished black wood floors, thick carpet, and a fireplace already glowing low in the corner. He gently placed you on the bed, tugging off your shoes. Here, let me. He peeled your coat off slowly, trying not to make you uncomfortable. His jaw clenched the entire time. Your fingers were pale and stiff. Why didn't you call me? He asked softly, almost like he was scared of the answer. You looked up at him, tears in your eyes. I thought you wouldn't answer, because she was here. Jungkook went still. For a moment, the room was silent except for the sound of the rain outside. Then he stepped back and turned toward the door. Hana. She appeared a minute later at the top of the stairs, surprised, eyes flicking between you and him. Her expression faltered. He shouted. She had never seen him like this, not even when they were together. Not this raw, not this frantic, not this in love. What happened to her? Was she outside in the rain? She whispered as if defending herself. Jungkook didn't even look at her. Leave. Hana blinked. What? You came, you said what you had to say, now leave. Still his eyes never left you. She swallowed, her voice cracking. Jungkook, please. Don't make me repeat myself. You didn't move, you didn't even look at her, but you heard her footsteps fade down the hallway. You heard the door close, and then it was just you and him again. He came back to you with a blanket and two towels. Come on, he said gently, kneeling in front of you. I need to dry you off before you freeze. You tried to argue, but he was already gently patting your hair dry, being more careful than anyone ever had with you. Why are you always doing this to yourself? He muttered, always putting yourself last, always getting hurt. I'm fine. You are not fine. He snapped quietly, but his voice softened again immediately. You were sitting out there in the goddamn storm. For me? Your eyes welled up because it was important. You reached for the folder, still clutched against your chest. I went to help your brother earlier. We were cleaning up your second base office. I saw this footage. You opened the folder with trembling hands. Someone inside is leaking your shipment plans to a rival group. I saw the video. It was time stamped for yesterday night, and the guy, he's close to you. Jungkook's eyes darkened as he flipped through the evidence, piecing it together fast. You watched his face harden. Damon, he muttered. That snake. You nodded slowly. I couldn't wait till morning. I had to tell you. And then your voice cracked, even if it meant seeing you with her. He looked up at that. And the moment your eyes met, something broke in him. He reached for your hand and held it tightly. I'm not with her. You didn't say anything. I don't care about her anymore. Haven't for a long time. The only reason I even let her in was because I thought she came with useful information, that's it. You looked down. I thought maybe she still mattered to you. He shook his head. No, not her. And then he quietly said something that made your heart skip a beat. Only you. Jungkook gently cupped your jaw again, brushing your wet hair away from your face. You think I could ever ignore you? You think I could sit inside and let you be out there if I knew? His voice cracked again. You matter more than you'll ever understand. You swallowed hard, Jungkook. His thumb brushed your cheek. I don't know when it happened or how. Maybe it was all the quiet glances. Maybe it was the way you never feared me, even when the whole world did. But one day I realized His voice dropped. There is no home in the world for me except where you are. And you didn't know what to say to that because it was everything you had been waiting to hear, even if you weren't ready to admit it out loud yet. Jungkook pulled the blanket tighter around your shoulders. You are staying here tonight, he said firmly, no arguments. But I'll sleep on the couch. Hell, I'll sleep on the floor if it makes you feel safe, but I'm not letting you out of my sight. And for the first time that day, you let yourself relax. Safe, warm, finally seen, and just outside the mansion, the rain began to ease as if the storm too had been waiting for this moment. The rain had stopped, the soft patting on the windows was now just a quiet drip, like the sky was catching its breath. The room was wrapped in silence, dimly lit by the glow of the fireplace. You were nestled beneath thick blankets, finally warm, wearing one of Jungkook's oversized sweatshirts that nearly reached your knees. The bed smelled like him, warm spice and something inexplicably comforting. But even with your body slowly recovering, your heart wouldn't settle. You knew he was still awake. You could feel it. The rustle of movement on the couch near the fireplace, the sound of pages being flipped, and then the stillness again. You sat up slowly. Are you really planning to sleep out there? There was a pause, then his voice came, quiet and rough from the exhaustion of the night. Didn't want to make you uncomfortable. You won't. Your voice was soft and shy, not anymore. There was another pause, and then you saw him rise from the shadows. Jungkook walked over, hesitant at first, standing at the edge of the bed like he was afraid to break the fragile calm between you. You sure? He asked, voice gentler now. You nodded. Just stay close tonight. He didn't need to be told twice. He slipped under the covers beside you, careful not to touch at first until your fingers reached for his. It started small, just the brush of skin, the warmth of his hand surrounding yours, but it felt like everything. I thought I lost you tonight. He whispered suddenly. You turned to him. You didn't. It wasn't that serious. Nothing serious. I would have never forgiven myself if anything had happened to you. If you got sick or hurt because of me, because of her. She's gone now, you said softly. I didn't even notice she left. He admitted almost guiltily. The moment I saw you outside, she disappeared from my world completely. You smiled faintly. You are dramatic. No, I'm serious. He looked at you now, his gaze moved slowly across your face like he was memorizing every drop of water left on your lashes, every inch of skin he almost lost tonight, and then so gently you barely noticed it at first, he leaned in. His forehead touched yours, and for a moment everything paused. You mean something to me, more than I've ever admitted, even to myself. Then admit it now. You didn't know where the boldness came from. Maybe it was the safety of his arms, the warmth of his bed, the way he looked at you like nothing else in the world mattered. But he smiled, that rare small smile that tugged at the corner of his lips. I love you. Your breath gone. I know it's selfish of me, but I don't want to hide it anymore. I don't want to act like you are just my brother's friend or someone passing through my life. He cupped your cheek, thumb tracing the skin beneath your eye. I want you here, in my world, in my arms, every night. You leaned into his touch, tears stinging your eyes, but this time from relief. Then stop asking for permission. You whispered, I was yours the moment I waited in the rain. His breath hitched, and then finally he kissed you, slow, gentle, devastatingly deep, like a promise, like an apology, like a beginning. His lips moved against yours with quiet urgency, not the hunger of someone trying to claim, but the reverence of someone who has been aching to hold what's already his. And when he pulled away, resting his forehead to yours again, both of you breathless, there was no more distance, no more doubt, no more guards, no more storms, just the soft whisper of your voice in the quiet. I'm not leaving this time. Good, because I'm never letting you go again. Outside, the stars peeked through the night sky, the first time in days. Inside, in the arms of the most dangerous man in the city, you had never felt safer. The mafia world could wait. Right now, there was only you and him. And finally,